Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you here. Today we're ditching the monologue to talk about something we can all relate to, weddings. Yes, those magical, sometimes stressful, but always memorable events. And no, I'm not talking about Guillermo's upcoming bachelor party at the Dollar Tree. Although that does sound like a wild time. I mean, real weddings, or at least real in some parts of the world, the kind that make you question everything you thought you knew about tying the knot. We're going on a global tour to uncover some of the most bizarre, shocking, and unbelievable wedding traditions out there. From the far reaches of the globe to places you might not expect. Trust me, after hearing these, you'll be grateful for a simple, boring American wedding. Sometimes less really is more. Now, I'm not talking about your aunt's weird obsession with having a birdseed toss instead of rice. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm talking about traditions that'll make you say, "You want me to do what with a goat?" Yes, you heard that right. We're talking spouse swapping, livestock payments, and even a little light kidnapping. These are not your average wedding customs. Don't worry, it's all in the name of love. Allegedly, because what wouldn't we do for love, right? So buckle up, grab your wedding planner, and get ready to have your mind blown because things are about to get weird. Really weird. And by weird, I mean way weirder than that time I accidentally wore my wife's underwear on the show. And yes, that happened. Let's get started. Okay, first up we're heading to, well, I can't tell you exactly where because, frankly, I don't want to get sued. But let's just say it's a place that's quite off the beaten path. A hidden gem where traditions are as unique as they come. Let's just say it's a place where personal space is, shall we say, less of a priority. Imagine a bustling market where everyone knows everyone and privacy is a foreign concept. We're talking about a tradition where newlyweds swap spouses for a night. You heard that right? It's a custom that has been passed down through generations and it's still going strong. The bride ends up with the groom's best man, sharing laughs and dances, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. Meanwhile, the groom gets cozy with the bridesmaid, creating memories that are sure to be talked about for years to come, and everyone pretends it's not completely bonkers. The whole community joins in the fun, making it a night to remember. Apparently, it's all about building trust and community bonding. They believe that such an experience strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of unity. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I could bond with my community just fine over a plate of pigs in a blanket. A good meal and some friendly conversation usually do the trick for me. I don't need to be tucked into bed with someone else's significant other to feel a sense of camaraderie. That just seems a bit too far out of my comfort zone. But hey, different strokes for different folks, right? Maybe they're onto something that the rest of us just don't get. Maybe swapping spouses is the secret to a long and happy marriage, who knows? Perhaps it's the key to keeping the spark alive, or maybe, just maybe, it's a recipe for disaster. Only time will tell if this tradition stands the test of time. Next, we're traveling to a land where love doesn't cost a thing, unless you're counting cows, chickens, and the occasional llama. Here, the currency of affection is a bit more animated. That's right, folks, we're talking about paying the bride price with livestock. It's a tradition that has been passed down through generations. Forget diamonds, forget fancy cars. In this culture, the groom's family better arrive with a whole petting zoo if they want to impress the bride's folks. It's a sight to behold. We're talking goats, sheep, pigs, and sometimes even more exotic animals. You name it, they've probably used it to seal the deal on a marriage. It's a unique way to show commitment and respect. Now, I can see the upside. No need to worry about your 401k. When you can just trade a couple of prize-winning hogs for your soulmate, it's practical in its own way. Plus, think of all the free fertilizer. Your garden will thank you. But on the other hand, can you imagine the smell? It's not all roses and romance. I mean, I love a good barbecue as much as the next guy, but having a whole flock of sheep hanging around your wedding reception? That's a lot to handle. That's a lot of potential for things to go wrong. Imagine the chaos if the animals decide to make a run for it. And don't even get me started on the logistics of getting all those animals home after the party's over. It's a whole operation in itself. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next tradition is straight out of an action movie or a really awkward first date. It's called bride kidnapping, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The groom and his buddies literally kidnap the bride as part of the wedding festivities. Now, before you call the cops, apparently. It's all supposed to be in good fun. The bride knows it's coming, and it's seen as a test of her future husband's strength and cunning. But still, can we all agree that there are less stressful ways to test your man's mettle, like maybe a challenging game of Scrabble or a particularly complicated IKEA assembly? I don't know about you, but I prefer my romantic gestures to involve a little less duct tape and a lot more champagne. Grab your tissues, folks, because things are about to get emotional. In some cultures, brides are expected to cry a lot. And I'm not talking about a single tear rolling down the cheek during the vows. I'm talking about days, even weeks, of full-on sobbing leading up to the wedding. It's called a crying ritual, and it's supposed to show the bride's sadness at leaving her family and her devotion to her future husband. Now, I'm all for a good cry every now and then. Heck, I cried during an episode of The Bachelor, and those people aren't even real, but forcing someone to sob for days on end, that seems a little excessive. Plus, can you imagine the state of your face after all that weeping? Talk about a makeup artist's nightmare. I'm pretty sure even the most waterproof mascara wouldn't stand a chance against that kind of emotional onslaught. All right, folks, get ready for a tradition that's guaranteed to make your stomach churn. We're talking feet washing, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. In this custom, the bride shows her humility and respect for her husband by washing his feet. Now, I'm all for a little pampering every now and then, but I'm not sure I want to be anywhere near those tootsies, especially after a long day of wedding festivities. I mean, let's be real, feet are weird, man. They sweat, they smell, and they're just generally not something you want to spend your wedding day thinking about. But hey, at least it's not as bad as the spouse swapping thing, right? Next up, we're heading to a place where brides take their pre-wedding beauty routine to a whole new level. Forget facials and spray tans. We're talking about getting absolutely covered in soot and feathers. This tradition, known as blackening the bride, is supposed to ward off evil spirits and bring good luck to the happy couple. Now, I'm all for a little superstition, but this seems a little extreme. I mean, can you imagine showing up to your wedding looking like you just crawled out of a chimney? Talk about a memorable entrance. And what about the poor photographer, trying to get a decent picture with all that soot flying around? It's a recipe for disaster. All right, folks, this next tradition is for all you klutzes out there who are constantly dropping things. It's called breaking dishes. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Guests at the wedding smash plates, glasses, and anything else they can get their hands on to bring good luck to the newlyweds. Now, I'm all for a good party trick, but this seems a little dangerous. I mean, have you ever tried to clean up broken glass after a few too many cocktails? It's not pretty. Plus, can you imagine the noise? It's like a frat party gone wrong. But hey, at least it's a good way to get rid of any unwanted wedding gifts, right? Get your gardening gloves ready, folks, because this next tradition is all about getting your hands dirty. In some cultures, couples plant a tree together after their wedding ceremony to symbolize their growing love and commitment. Now, I'm all for a little symbolism, but I can't help but think about the practical implications. What if you live in an apartment? Do you just haul a potted plant to the courthouse? And what happens if the tree dies? Is that a bad omen for the marriage? So many questions, so little time, but hey, at least it's a good excuse to get some fresh air after being cooped up in a stuffy reception hall all day. All right, folks, it's time to channel your inner track star because this next tradition involves a little bit of athleticism. It's called jumping the broom, and it's a tradition that dates back centuries. After saying their I-do's, the happy couple jumps over a broom together, which symbolizes sweeping away the past and starting their new life together. Now, I'm all for a little tradition, but I can't help but think about the potential for disaster. What if the bride is wearing a big poofy dress? What if the groom trips and takes out a guest? And what about the broom itself? Is it a special ceremonial broom, or can you just grab one from the cleaning closet? Last but not least, we're heading to a place where guests take their wedding gifts very seriously. Forget toasters and towels. In this culture, it's all about the Benjamins. During their reception, guests pin money to the bride and groom's clothing as a way to wish them prosperity and good fortune. Now, I'm all for a little financial assistance, but this seems a little, well, grabby. I mean, can you imagine walking around with hundreds of dollars pinned to your dress? It's like being a human ATM. Plus, what do you do with all that cash after the wedding? Do you have to iron it? Do you have to declare it on your taxes? Well, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of some of the most shocking wedding traditions from around the world. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a whole lot better about my own wedding now. Sure, my uncle might have had a little too much to drink and started doing the Macarena on the dance floor, but at least nobody tried to make me swap spouses or wash anyone's feet. So the next time you're feeling stressed about wedding planning, just remember, it could be a whole lot weirder. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about these unique wedding traditions, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time.